You are clearly on a beach, and judging by the diminutive waves and the soft brush surface of the water, it is a lake or a small sea, Lake Como perhaps, or the Black Sea. How is such a narrative possible? The mother and two children in the background, for example, standing, it seems, on the surface of the mineral heavy water. The mother lowers a string into the depths. The boy tilts forward. The boy tilts toward her. The girl stands one step back from the hole. Here then is a triangle, the mother addicted to drugs, the sister who was the only person who understood you, who became an alcoholic and shot herself, and you leaning forward as if running or falling into the hole, the chloroform hole, the cigarette hole, the opium hole, the morphine hole, the Veronal hole, the cocaine hole, the mouth hole, the nose hole, the vein hole, the food hole, the language hole, breathing, word. Here, as if the figures are held behind your back, in the palm of your hand, a history of holes and what we put inside them, lose inside them. You claim that until the age of 20, you noticed nothing in your environment save for water. Perhaps then you were falling through it, or through the word for it, bottomless. Disciplined adjuncts to the moment of sight. The poem takes apart the words for us patiently between the moment of remembering. A head turns, thinking, yes, as an adjunct to, in the moment of, yes, or also air, in which a head turns, although can we say in, if the ears, if a mouth breather, for which air is, or also between the, if the nose, yes. Can we say, if the nose, if the head turns, if we are disciplined, animals, to the moment of remembering who it was, who wrote in another poem, another air. Can we say in another air? Yes, we can say another part of us, patiently, for example, as an adjunct to flexible, between words, the discipline, or also a soft, leathery, wet nose pressed against a knee in love with its eyes closed. The dog in the moment of who it was, remembering, looking out, remembering, in love. Can we say in to look out? Looking out, remembering, in love. Can we say in to look out? The poem, as if temporary, and with the aid of when I brushed against it, or rather, I want to say, remembering how I let it, and with the aid of, in the moment between, it was like, between the moment of work and production, how I felt it as if temporary, imagined, however, how I let, for example, crawl when it landed, a fly, not away from, but closer to the outer corner. Can we say outer when it looked in? Drank. It was like the situation imagined, preceded both of us. I want to say when I looked in was us, as if temporary, vulnerable, and only when I brush against it, how I let it, or rather, I want to say, remembering when you don't move and with the aid of nothing, it comes to you, or rather, between the moment of work, we are both and but closer to, not away from, when I brush against it, remembering, and with the aid of ventilation and production.
This was one of the maps of the Mississippi meander belt that started me thinking about all of this. And here's a section that I sewed at the Albers Foundation. So the map is a geocentric scale model, and it means that as a viewer, when you walk through my ideal sort of half a football field size space and look up at the ceiling at the silver thing glinting, that you are in the position of someone walking inside the earth looking up at the riverbed. So it's a reversal. And reversals go through my work in many different ways. And then the book that just came out a couple months ago is the Dickinson Composites. It's over there too. So what it refers to it's a two-volume set of Emily Dickinson's work, published in manuscript facsimile. And there's this great physical information about what the manuscripts are composed of in terms of paper, structure. And as one who started out as a visual artist, this sort of thing is really compelling to me. And the thing that was incredibly compelling to me were these small crosses that you see preceding the word landscape, preceding the word exhibits, preceding the word not, preceding the word flash and click. So I started to get a little more than obsessed with these marks and how they were functioning in the poems, which to me seemed incredibly profound way to be able to read her work. And I started to make these sort of weird maps of them on the fascicle level. So the fascicles are simply bound packets that she made of her poems. So this is composite marks of fascicle 34, 38. And I was interested in the patterns, how they fell, how the marks changed in scale and relationship. And I started to make these sort of enormous sewn works, 6 feet tall by 8 feet wide. So a little bigger than that mantle, that whole mantle space over there. And using muslin and cotton batting and sort of a stitched ground that related to the page or the paper she was using. So this was like a light rule with a laid line in it. Started transferring these marks with pencil onto these big surfaces to scale, and then embroidering them with red silk. Curious lines around here. One cannot leave one without entering another. If I were a sign, I'd be pasture, the opposite of future. Dear friends, I am moved by you. Hello, a new year in the country, and how it finds you in Weld, flanking a fire, each with a window, each with a dog, or some strange form of asterix. Humping from any angle is hard. Return to sniff, scratch an ear. Need less, travel more. Stay put in the slow work of poems and books. Dear Brandon, is the horizon back? Dear Lisa, are the rose hips still on the sill? Thank you for watching the dogs. Surely they're driving you nuts, and themselves too. Any excuse for 11 walks a day, the pine woods, the chicken pile, syncopation, and porcupines. New snow, new lines, new muscles from going through. It's nice to have these back in time moments, you know, but we are blessed to have word processing, aren't we?